Well, discussing women in politics, my guests today are Georgina Dapopo. I got that right. She's the national chairman, Young Democratic Party. You're welcome to Dateline Abuja.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll also have a beautiful woman, Mrs. Victoria Bamidele of Yasoge. She's the Democratic People's Party national women's leader.
Thank you so much.
It's nice having you, as
so
we're commemorating Women's Day and Mother's Day. Thank you for having us. Thank you for being part of Dateline Abuja.
Thank you.
First things first, what do you think about politics? Being a national chairman, I'm sure this is something, I haven't met a female national chairman in Nigeria. This is the first time. So why did you go into politics, and what prompted you first to even go into politics?
In a nutshell, my children. Sometime in 2012, I like every other Nigerian, I was tired of the situation then, and tired of talking from the sidelines, and I was considering joining a political party. But I looked at what was available at that time, and there didn't seem to be a place for someone like me, young and a woman. And then, fortunately, I met a friend who told me about Young Democratic Party. How do they were just starting the process of registration then. So I joined them, and at that time I was a national legal advisor.
You are a lawyer?
Yes, I am a lawyer.
Okay.
So I was national legal advisor at that time, and then gradually, of course, there was a long, strung out running battle with INEC in court. So we got registered in 2016, and we had our first convention last year, February, and that's where I emerged as a national chairman.
And how did that go?
It went well. I had tremendous support from the men in the party, and of course the women as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Kyokema, what do you think are the factors that actually discourage women from being active in politics?
Basically, for me, I think there are lots of challenges. But the truth of the matter is, women should be confident in themselves. Like I said, 3 says, be confident, be courageous, and also be cautious. Once you are determined to be a politician, I don't see those challenges as a big deal, because they are surmountable. Because already these men are fathers, they are brothers, they are boyfriends, they are our uncles. So already we have fraternity, we have relationship. So now what I think women should learn to do now is to know how to lobby and negotiate.
Good, I love that.
And that's what men do.
How do we go about that?
Now what do you do? How do you negotiate with your husband in the house? If you have issues, the smaller family cell becomes bigger in the community and becomes wider in the political level. How do you talk to your husband when you want to take something from him or discuss issues concerning your children? You lobby, you negotiate.
Or even your father.
Or your father. You negotiate. Because you know what? Men over time believe that we are the weakest vessel, and for us to get anything from them, we must be on our knees in a way. So what I think women should be doing is, those barriers, we shouldn't look at them as an issue. Though they are there, they are issues, but we should see it as if they are not there. Because already we should know how to handle this men. We need to have the skill. The skill, that's what we lack. Skill to handle men. You lobby them, you negotiate. And we can only do that when we are in numbers.
Well, I know that women are a number of men, but then your party has been in existence for
over 11 years.
Over 11 years. How successful have they been?
Yes, for me, I would say for my party, it's not been too bad. Because ordinarily, when you're not in the ruling party, your voices are not heard. But for my party, I think they have a better ideology concerning women inclusion in politics. For example, we had a convention recently around November, and you'll be surprised that almost 20-30% of the NEC members, the executive members of the party, are women.
Beautiful.
And why is it that? It's because women got involved. Women have to come out.
Good.
En masse.
So, Georgina, how do you think you can, using your position as a national chairman, how do you think you can encourage women to be more active in politics?
By doing what I'm doing, going on air, talking to women groups, it's not rocket science. Women are natural managers. We know how to manage situations. We know how to manage our homes. We just need to use that skill and bring into the political scene as well. Our men have been in charge for so long, and unfortunately, things seem to have remained at the same level. We need this higher population to be well represented at the political scene as well, because we are more than the men according to estimates of our population, and we are not represented. We don't have our voices. We don't have our concerns represented in the political space. So we need to bring that natural skill that we have as mothers, as sisters, as women, and bring to the political space. Probably Nigeria could probably get better for it.
Do you think the environment is friendly enough? You being a national chairperson of a political party, I'm sure there's some constraints that you have when you go for meetings. Do you think that the environment is conducive for women to be more active in politics? And what are your constraints?
The environment, I think, environment is what you make it out to be, as far as I'm concerned. Because when I attend meetings, that's why, for instance, I don't have to be addressed as a chairperson or a chairwoman. I'm a chairman. I'm with you guys. I'm here.
So sorry, we're taking the chairman of the political party. Okay.
So it's what you make it out to be. When I go to the meeting, I'm not sitting down there as a woman. I'm sitting down there as a representative of my party, as one and the same with all the men that are sitting down there. So whatever it is they're doing, as far as something I will do ordinarily, I'll go ahead and participate, make my contributions, and participate fully. Now, you also talked about the constraints.
Yes. What are the constraints?
The constraints is, for me as a woman, is sometimes having to choose between my family and my career. That's and somehow, fortunately for me, I have a good support system. I have my husband, and I have a family friend staying with us in the house who's been there for years. So she's more or less like an aunt. So I have that support system. So it helps me to. I don't have to make that choice too often of choosing between my family and my career as a politician. But that's one of the constraints.
And your husband has been supportive with it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, I said to run for office of national chairman, I had to talk it over with him. I told him this will mean more meetings. This will mean staying away from the home more than I ordinarily would. Is this something you're willing to accept to go with me on this journey? And he did.
What if he had declined?
I would have lobbied.
Oh, I love that.
I would have lobbied. I would have had, because it's something I was passionate about. He saw it. And because we got children, and they ain't got no other country. This is the only country they've got. So something has to be done. He has a more stable career. Let him focus on that, and let me come into this and support him from this axis.
Do you want to share some of the constraints we have, especially you talked about being married. This is fantastic, But what if you are involved? You want to be involved in? We know we have a non-conducive environment because of culture and other related issues. But what if you are single, or you're a single mother, you're a widow or something, but you're single? There's no man in your life. And you say you want to be active in politics. There already is a tag saying women in politics. Oh, they're just that you know these things. What do you want to share some more of the constraints that we have?
I was a banker before, and in the 80s and the early 90s, when you find a lady in the bank, that is also a similar conception people have about you, big girls. Yeah, But if you are determined and see it like my sister said, you see politics as a career. Nothing should be a barrier to you. Every barrier in life is surmountable. If you're a banker, you have challenges. You're a lawyer, you have challenges. So you're a politician, you must have challenges. So what you need to do is make up your mind that this thing, I'm going for it, and nobody can stop me. You just have to be courageous and also have confidence in yourself. There will always be barrier in anything you want to do.
True.
So just make up your mind and say, I'm going for it and I'm good to go. And that's all.
Why do you think women are not coming out more? How many, out of all the political parties we have only
68.
you?
No.
We have 68 now.
We have 68. We have 4 female.
Who just came out?
Yeah, 3 just came out.
Registered. So you were the only, chairperson for a long time. Since last year, 2 years ago.
Last year.
So why do you think women are not coming out to be more active in politics?
I think that just like every other aspect of the Nigerian polity, people weren't interested in politics. Oh, it's for them. They kept saying it's for them. But now we realize the decisions taken by these people, the policies, affects us directly as well. So people are becoming more conscious. And so are women. We have women coming out. But that's not to say that even those that were there before, there weren't challenges. For instance, finance. We know that politics is very capital intensive in Nigeria. And a lot of women don't have the financial buoyancy, independence to be able to go into this full-fledged like they would want to. And then also there's also the issue of there are some religions that don't support a woman living in her house. And so, of course, that constraint, that restraint was there as well, because you have to get your father's permission, you have to get your husband's permission, and where you don't even have a father or a husband, you have to get your elder brother's permission to even do something you really would love to do. So, but now there's more consciousness, there's more voice, there's more support for women in politics. I mean, you have every political party now is singing, "Oh, we need women in politics." Let the women come out, and we are hopeful as women that even though they're asking us to come on board, and there will be a transparent and supportive system.
Have you had that? You know, I was actually waiting for you to land, but I really can't hold on now anymore.
Okay.
When you go for your meetings, because I'm just picturing you, I'm still overwhelmed. Like, I picture you sitting in the midst of all the men, folks, and how do you feel? When it's time for you to speak, this is the personal thing, even if I'm on air right now, how do you feel? Are you intimidated?
Not intimidated. I think more nervous. When I just came on board, I was quite nervous because this was a whole new terrain for me and I didn't know what to do, how to say it. But, as time went on, I became more confident. Like she said, it has to be confident. I became more confident. I knew I had it in me. I knew there's no rocket science about political science. About politics. It's everyday life.
Yeah.
We are all Nigerians. We know what is happening in the country. We know what needs to be done. We know how things should be done. So it's just about bringing voice to that. And I was able to do that. Interestingly, I'm also the National Deputy Secretary of IPAC. IPAC is the Inter-Party Advisory Council, the umbrella board of all political parties. I ran against a man at that election and I won. And I had women, of course, I was only female on board, so I had all the support of all the other national chairmen to be able to emerge. And they've been very supportive. They've been very friendly. That's the male folk. So I like to tell women it's not as dreary as I've been painted to be. They are humans. The men are humans. Of course, there'll be some sinister, crazy people. There's always an exception to general rule. But like she said, be determined, be focused, be committed to this course, and success is certain.
Okay, do you want to add something?
Yes, I just want to add one or two things to that. You say there's this mindset over time that our culture forbids it, our religion forbids it. And you see, over time, when you have a statement that is not of fact, over time people believe it's the truth because nobody has come to say, no, hey, I've checked it out, it's not true. It is not true that our culture forbids women in politics. It's just people that decided that women are not good for it.
What of when they call 2 a.m. meetings?
Excuse me. We have doctors. Don't you go for night shifts?
Yes, we do.
We have ladies in the media. Don't you go for night shifts?
Yes, we do.
So it doesn't make much difference. My religion, as a Christian, even as a Muslim, I saw a lot of women, they are there now.
Yeah.
Which means the culture, the religion does not forbid it. It's left for we, the women, to be confident and be bold enough to come out.
How can we do that?
Now, this is where we miss it. I've done a lot of research on that.
Good.
Most women want to come to politics at the top.
Oh.
And it's not going to work.
And with the big parties.
It's not going to work. You know why? Politics, democracy is grassroots. Really, really grassroots. I'm a grassroots person. I have sponsored like over 10 councillors. And if you don't belong to the grassroots, you can't get anywhere because, you need to know the rudiments of politics. You need to know the rudiments.
You have to study.
You're not going to it's not going to give it to you on the platter of gold. It's not an a la carte that you just wake up one morning and somebody give you senator. No, you're going to walk through it. You will go to the grassroots. And that's what I want to tell women now. You go to your neighborhood, participate in the election, participate in the meetings. How do you start? Just register with a political party. For example, my party is open to women. We are women sensitive gender. open a dialogue with the chairman of the party at the grassroots, your ward, where you live, just your streets. It's not difficult. And that's the ward level. And that's the real grassroots. Now, from the ward level, you get involved in the executives as women. Minimum, you have about 9 executives from the ward level. And they all have also 9 assistant executives. Now, among these 9 executives, can't women be 3 or 4? It's a game of number.
Yeah.
Now, if you start from grassroots, now gradually you get to the local government. From local government, they know your stuff, they know what you're meant of, and you also read books, study, take time to know what you're doing, see it as a career. Then also go for mentoring. That's also what we like here.
Yes.
Mentoring.
But women, women always complain. Getting both of you on board was, I told you when, off camera, I told her that getting women to come on board always, even doing ordinary vox pops on the street, talking to women, we can rant and talk inside. But when it's to come out for the real deal, we all shy away. So getting women is a big issue. How are you going to be able to get women?
Now, that's what I'm saying.
What are your strategies?
It is not difficult. You live on my street. You know me. I know you. I know your friend. Your friend knows my friend. Okay, we come together and talk about it. We meet in the salon most of the time. We meet in the children's school when we go to drop our children. We talk about, it's a simple talk. Just talking like this. My sister, let's join these people. Are we happy with what's going on in the school system? Our education system is bad. And we feel it more. So we start talking.
Yeah.
Also, what next to do? There's a political party that will like the ideology. We go there and register. Then we make a voice. Then we also contribute intelligently. Most times women just go there to see as a hobby.
Yes.
One, they also go as if they're going to watch films. Just sit down there and they're docile. So if you're docile, the men think you don't have nothing to offer them, and so you
don't you
can't
think
participate.
that's what women actually feel?
That's what they
Now
feel.
they have something to offer.
Yes.
Yes, I think so.
That's why I was asking you. Do you
Let
feel
us be
intimidated?
honest here, because you see, what we are here to do is to be genuine. Let's have a genuine of our purpose that we want women on board.
Yeah.
Let more women come. You need to go and ask Sister Senator Etagiwa, ask Tinubu, Senator Tinubu. Those are the grassroots. Ask this woman in Ekiti, another senator. You see, these people went through the grassroots. And when you go through the grassroots, then you are in politics. Not when you are given an appointment as a minister of finance. You don't know what it takes to be a politician. But when you go through elective posts, you go through the grassroots. You work with the people that you think they are noble. You call them area boys, but I call them my friends, my neighbor. So if you start from there, you can always build up your career. You start your university not from there, from primary school, secondary school, then tertiary university. Then that's how you start in politics as well. Then when you are there, you are formidable, you are stable, and the men cannot take you for granted because you know over time you have studied the rudiments and you know what it takes. And by the time you are at the stage, nobody will push you over.
Oh, we have to go. I'm sure we have to repeat this again. We can't because we can't. We have to flog this issue.
Yes.
But final take here. Final question. How would you feel? What do you think are the secret codes? Now, I'll call them secret codes for us to use to canvass women into politics. Not just strategies now, secret codes. You said something like talking to a friend. That is a secret code.
Yes.
And I'm sure a lot of women out there will want to be involved in politics, especially we coming out now and being able to speak up.
Yes.
What are the secret codes that we're going to give women? How are we going to, not strategies now, let's call it secret codes. How are we going to involve women more in politics?
What I would say first is mentoring. We lack mentoring. You see, the men have been there before us. A guy of 18 years in secondary school is in politics. Why you are still thinking of going to the university and thinking of getting married and all of that? Yeah. So they start early. So for us to really want to go into politics, you quietly on the ground. You could be a man, you could be a woman. Mentor me. Show me the way. Mentor me. So when you come among the men and you talk, they will look at you and say, excuse me, and that's what it takes. The men are friendly. They are not as hostile as we think. When you are there and you're able to contribute, then another secret code I would say silently is funding. Most women when they go to meetings, I've seen it in the grassroots, they hang around the men for transport fare. Most of the grassroots women. I'm not talking of the elites. And why the elites can't get there is because they are not from the grassroots. Just feel up there. But the real politicians are the grassroots women, the market women, the yaloja. and some of them are not too comfortable financially. So when they come to the meeting, they want to participate after, but they don't have even money, funding to go back home. And the men take them for granted and say, okay, for you to
buy
come,
the loyalty.
yes, for you to come to the meeting next time, I'm going to pay you, you know, your transport fare, but you're going to do my bills.
Oh.
So what do you do? So if we women can come and say, okay, my sister, you go for that meeting, do you know we can
We have to assist each other.
and raise fund for these women? Raise fund for these women.
Maybe open like a pocket
A
account
small
or something.
pocket account. Sometimes there's so little money, 200 naira, 500 naira. You see the women will be so excited to come back again and again, and they will not be subservient to the men anymore, and they will be able to raise a good voice.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. What do you think our secret code should be?
Well, as a woman, as a mother, let me look at the mothers. What is that thing that a woman will die for? Her family, her children. We are talking to a woman, trying to engage her. Make her see what her participation in politics, how it will impact her children's tomorrow, her children's future. She won't think, she really will think twice before agreeing with you, because she sees, because it's personal to her right now. It's not about them. So she will take that personal. Should definitely be more participatory.
How would you achieve that?
About talking, like you said, in the salons,
In the
we are
markets.
just to a friend, on our WhatsApp pages,
Okay.
in church, everywhere we can do that.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I've been talking to Georgina Dapopo. She's the national chairman, Young Democratic Party.
Thank you very much.
She's the national chairman. Yeah, I won't say chairwoman. Young Democratic Party. Nice having you again.
Thank you for
being
having
part of
me.
Dateline
Thank
Abuja. And Mrs. Victoria Bamidele Oviasoge. She's the national women leader, Democratic People's Party. Thank you so much for being part of Dateline Abuja.
Thank you for
and I hope
having
you
me.
guys will come back again when next week.
Surely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've been watching Dateline Abuja. We've been discussing women in politics. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.